Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Good morning. It is Coffee and time on ON Radio on Thursday, on the last day of August, August 31st in the year 2023. All right, my name's Joe Callahan. Dave Richards is here. Good morning to you there, Dave.
Good morning, Joe. Hi, everybody. Lovely day.
We're expecting to be joined by Sue Tessier McKenzie from The Call, and we'll also be joined by Cindy Johnston, Finance Director for the City of Woonsocket. And hopefully you were able to take a look at the blue moon last night. Did you see
No.
it? No? Well,
No.
it's the biggest it gets.
Yeah.
And 14% brighter than it normally is.
Right.
So,
Plus, second one in the month.
Yes. So that's why it's the blue moon. Next time it comes around, 2037. So mark your calendars.
That'd be a while, Joe.
It's going to be a while.
You'd
You're
be
right.
old by then.
Well, I'm old now.
I don't think so, Joe.
All right. We're going to begin today. And Dave wanted to talk about our friend Steve Bianchi.
Well, yes. Geez, some of our longer-term listeners
might remember
will
Steve.
remember Steve Bianchi. Steve Bianchi was the morning show host before me.
So what year? How long was he here before things changed and you came on?
Well, I believe he came in at 1976.
All right.
And he was gone 79.
All right. 3 years or so. Okay.
Yeah. Or is it late 78? Oh, that's what it was. Late 78. And so anyway, the deal was that Steve came back again in the 90s, did some afternoon radio for us and things like that. He worked a little bit at a bunch of different stations doing one thing or another. Steve was very, well, he could do anything, but what he really liked to do was like jazz and stuff like that. And so, he looked for those opportunities. So anyway, the point is, and we're talking to him like it's all past tense because we got word earlier this week from Gary Began, who is also a former staffer here, and again on Tuesday from Vinny Chivada, another former staffer here, that I guess, well, they pay more attention to the social media and stuff like that than I do, Joe.
Yep.
So they told me, Steve's been sick. Geez, I didn't know Steve had been sick because we didn't talk daily or even weekly or monthly. But we would kind of, from a distance, keep tabs on each other. But he said he took a very sudden turn for the worse, and he's down at Philip Huletar for hospice care.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, as everybody knows, Philip Huletar is the last train station on the railroad.
Yep.
And I don't mean to be callous about that. I'm just trying to use a euphemism. But the fact is that last week he was walking around having no problem. He was still taking treatments. He had developed some lung cancer, but he was working through it.
Yep.
And it didn't.
Things change.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden things changed. There was an abscess that became cancerous. He couldn't take the drugs, and he just Steve will be checking out soon, and he's down at Philip Huletar. So Joe and I got a chance to go down and see Betsy, his wife, and several members from his church and some other families and friend members that came in and sit with Steve. And I just wanted to make mention of it before Steve passes away, that's the case. If somebody feels terribly moved about visiting Steve or Betsy over the next couple of days, then he's at room 204 at Philip Huletar, which is where the old Rhode Island Auditorium used to be, where
North
the
Main
Providence,
Street,
the Providence Reds used to play.
Right.
And that's down, I guess it's between 2nd and 3rd Street on North Main, down in Providence. So that's we wanted to mention that because I promised Betsy I'd say something about it on the air. I don't like to start things on a down note usually, but there was a lot of love in the room, man. So you go in there with a positive attitude, and I think that I think you'll get a good feeling when you come away. Yes, it's parting is always sad.
Yep.
But at the same time, This is an important thing. Steve, when we were there, was not
Responsive.
he wasn't responding to the rest of the conversation, but we were assured by the doctor, oh yeah, he knows what's
He can
going
hear
on.
you. So
He's just kind of doped up right now.
right. Sue Tester McKenzie from the Call is here.
Hey.
Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
Nice to have Sue joining us.
She's got her nautical theme going on.
Oh, lots of anchors.
She's the nautical lady of Shady Lane.
Yep.
She's got anchors on her
Anchors
dress
going.
and ship's wheels on her necklace, and an anchor on the necklace too.
It's all a theme, right?
She's always dressed to the 10 and a half. This lady.
That's right.
Thank you.
Let me bring this closer so they hear you.
One of the great things about Steve is Steve never got angry.
Oh gosh.
I never saw this man
yes, he
get
did,
angry.
but he didn't express it.
Well, he didn't. He never expressed it to me, and also that and his sense of humor.
Yeah.
Steve had an incredibly dry sense of humor. Some people don't like that because you got to think about a dry sense of humor. It takes a while before
Some
you get
people
the
don't
joke.
like
Yeah,
Joke.
yeah.
But if you like a dry sense of humor, I mean, it just puts you on the floor. You can laugh so much.
Yeah,
So we thank Steve for all the laughs over the years.
that's right.
All right, other things are going on, and this just came across the old news wire, as they say.
Why are we
there-
still using the old news wire?
Well,
Why don't we
'cause-
use something contemporary?
All right, like the internet kind of thing. But down in Smithfield, they're investigating a death on Mountaindale Road,
Really?
which I think you can actually see from 295.
Yeah.
If I know what road I'm
yeah,
thinking about there.
I think you are correct.
Right when you go past Route 7,
Yep.
and you look down, and that's Stillwater Road, but there's another
Yeah,
Mountaindale kind
I
of
think
intersects
that
it.
is, yeah.
Okay. Officers responded to the home just before 5 p.m. on Wednesday. Smithfield Police say the community is not in danger, but there's no word yet on the victim's identity or the cause of death. So Smithfield Police are looking into this situation where they do confirm a death at a house on Mountaindale Road in Smithfield. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah, when you see the caution tape on the news, you know.
Something's up.
Yeah, you know.
All right, and we also had that crash yesterday on 295 up by 95 in
Oh, yeah,
North
that was
Attleboro.
messy.
Yeah.
There's actually, if you pick up today's call, there's a picture of it from the Sun Chronicle, which you guys are all
Right,
part of the same
exactly.
ownership.
Yep.
But you can see it. It looks like the car. Dave thought it might be a Kia from what he saw, but you really can't tell.
Yeah,
well,
but
because they ripped the roof off of it
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
the guy out.
And so
because
they-
it was wedged underneath the back of a truck.
It looked like he hit the back of a Market Basket truck.
and it looked as though the Market Basket truck was in the high-speed lane.
Well, at that place, there's really no delineation between high
Well,
speed
if
and
was it
because
north
you're
or south?
narrowing
It was
They were going
north.
south on 295. So I
So
don't
if they
know
were
if it was
going, okay, yeah, because there is one spot that's 2-lane and then it turns into 3.
Yep.
No, it was
from
going north on
south.
295, Joe.
If he was going
Right.
north, then you're right, Dave. After the mall exit, turns into 2 lanes.
Right. And
Yeah.
if you're going to go on 95 south, they want you over to the right. If not, you're over in the high-speed lane
Exactly.
to get onto 95
To get
north.
onto 95 north.
So
yeah.
it looks like it happened close to the I-95 interchange. It just, there's no ID yet on the person that died, and no cause of what may have caused
Right.
the accident. I mean, you could always speculate.
Right.
Initially,
A
I
number
thought,
of things,
I
yeah.
thought maybe he fell asleep because it happened early in the morning at
Yeah.
6:30.
630, yeah.
That's a possibility, and because it looks like I don't think you saw skid marks.
I didn't
on
see
the-
any
on
skid
the
marks in
road.
the picture. They could have been there,
They
but
could-
they
they
didn't.
could
They
be
weren't
there.
You,
obvious.
you didn't see him, yeah. Not obvious. And then it was the truck disabled?
They didn't say.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it would have said.
Yep.
So yeah, I know it was foggy, but not 10 feet in front of you foggy.
Right, and they had closed down 295 at least. I don't know if they closed down 95 for that
No.
accident.
No.
No,
So
just 295 from what
okay.
I
For a couple of
understood.
hours before
Yeah.
they could reopen it up at like 10 yesterday morning. So we await the naming of that victim in that crash. So the bad news keeps coming. We had a road rage incident on 95
Just
in
heap it
Providence.
right up there, Joe.
Well, sometimes
trend. Let's
sometimes
do it.
It just comes in waves. A man is facing charges for a road rage shooting on Route 95 in Providence.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like these two cars were going to. They narrowly avoided a collision, and Some people just go, "Phew, gee, I'm glad I missed the collision," but other people get upset.
Exactly.
And so that's what they say happened here. This
Well,
is where the
that
state
area
officers
trying to
exit.
get from 95 onto 146 now, you have to be pretty heads up about it.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
But there are still people coming in and over, and they might find themselves trapped over there looking, and they're going to be taken off onto the state offices, but they really want to be on 146.
146, yeah.
So they may have to do something rather drastic to try to, get back on course. And if that happens right in front of somebody, and keep in mind, it's widely known that there is a zone from the driver's side head back to your back bumper that, generally speaking, you don't see
Yeah.
in your side rear view mirror. And so you may not be aware of somebody being there. And if you are intent on moving forward to your goal, you may not see that there's a guy you're cutting off.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. And that guy may have no sense of humor. I can understand being very upset about something like that, but you got to realize, okay, you're a driver, they're a driver, you got a blind zone too. It could happen to you. But I do not understand being blind with rage with a loaded revolver in your car.
And thinking it's a good idea to shoot at the other car.
Yeah, what possessed that?
I'll show you.
I'm still mind boggled at the fact that there are cameras everywhere. With any crime you commit, there are cameras everywhere.
Doesn't say if
Yeah, well, if
cameras are
somebody's
used to
blind
collect
with
this
rage,
one.
they're not thinking about, the
Oh, yeah.
penalties of this, that, and the other thing.
No, but
They're not
I
thinking
would,
about that. They're just saying, I'm going to do this.
right. But I would be thinking of, is somebody going to see me do this? Is somebody going to catch me do this? Well,
You would think so.
chances
If
are
you-
really good
If you're on
that they
95,
will.
you're sharing the road with
Right.
hundreds of your closest friends.
It
So.
just blows my mind.
This incident took place, by the way, on August 16th. The victim's vehicle was hit by gunfire, but the driver was not injured. The man that did the shooting, allegedly Nicholas Pajero of East Providence, he was arraigned. Charges include felony assault and using a firearm when committing a crime of violence and whatever else they could think of.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Who knows? Maybe the gun wasn't registered. That'll be
When
another one.
when I drive, I assume that everybody around me wants to get in front of me.
Yeah.
So now I'm just a cautious driver,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's all you can do.
See, I don't think that way, but everybody does get in front of me for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. If you know,
There's a reason why I'm
it's
keeping.
defensive driving.
There's a reason why I'm keeping so many lengths for the car in front of me is because I don't want anybody in this space, but they pull in anyway.
Yeah. Well, see, yeah. There's a certain.
Now I got to slow down
No,
some
yeah,
more
that's
because
right.
this joker just took
Right.
advantage of the
my favorites
my
though.
prudence.
My favorites are those that are on the high-speed lane, and you'll see the memes that say, "Don't be this guy,"
Yeah.
and the one guy's doing like less than the speed limit, and everybody's in the high-speed lane behind him. Get out.
Yeah.
Move over. You don't want to be here, obviously, because it's the fast lane. So move over.
The argument is speed limit, not speed you drive.
Right.
There is a limit to the speed.
Yeah.
I can be under that, and I'm cool as long if it's on an interstate highway. Most of them have minimum speed limits.
Some do. They used to
Right.
have that. Yeah.
So it'd be like 65 and 45. Don't drive less than 45, but you're not supposed
But in
to
the
be.
high-speed lane.
Well, nobody
you
ever
know,
called that the high-speed lane. That's the
It's
passing
the
lane.
high-speed lane.
He may
Passing
be
lane.
passing somebody.
Okay, so I
there
wanna
may be a
pass that
turtle
guy.
over there.
So I want to
And
pass
he's
that
passing
guy.
You're supposed to pass on the left, so move over so we can
Generally
pass
speaking.
on the left.
Right.
That's right.
Pass on the. I saw one the other day and he ended up. We were going to the beach and stayed with me the entire time. I won't say stayed with me, but he didn't get anywhere. Is the point that I'm trying to make.
Right.
He passed in the breakdown
In the breakdown lane?
on Route.
4 or 2 down there?
Let me see. It's Route 4.
Yeah.
Before we got to Route 1, passing in the breakdown lane by 102, if you're going to Exeter to
Yeah,
the cemetery,
Right.
right
He
there.
ends up in on
And
102.
he was just the whole way
Wow.
in right there, like he didn't get anywhere is the point that I'm making. And I'm like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I saw
Beach
a,
traffic.
I saw a TV program one time, and like a MythBuster show and they did. Is it better to, if you're trying to get to some place, and is it better to weave in and out of traffic or just stay in your lane?
Stay in your lane.
Well, no, actually, the person that weaved in and out of traffic got to the place they were both going to, 10 seconds faster.
Yep.
I think so.
Stay where you are.
Basically, stay in your lane.
Stay where you are. Just stay where you are.
And if you-
Unless, of course, you're in the passing lane,
lane.
and I
Can't
want
get
to
over.
pass you. Then you can move over.
I like that, Sue.
Yep.
All right. More of the Coffee and program coming your way. If you have any comments or questions, give us a call in at 766-1240.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first, and he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
It is Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. Sue Tessier McKenzie from The Call is here. And Sue, time for your first message from The
Yes,
Call
good
newspaper.
morning. Well, today, August 31st, is the kickoff to our voting round for the Best in Business, or aptly named Community Choice Awards. As I've explained over the past few weeks, there were 5 businesses in various categories nominated. You can only vote for one of those 5. You can't. There are no write-in votes this time. This is simply voting for your, best seafood, best steak, best nail salon, whatever the case may be. So only those 5 can be chosen from. Somebody did inquire, well, why can't I write them in? Well, that round ended. So if they weren't the top 5, then they're not the top 5 and can't proceed forward to the top 3. So go online, www.woonsocketcall.com or www.pawtuckettimes.com to place your votes for your favorite business.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. And I always like to point out, because I'm rarely correct on these things, but I was correct this time. We had the story a few days ago about the woman
Not
down
going to
in
talk about the Boston Red Sox,
no,
are you,
no,
Joe?
no. This is a news story. The
Who,
woman down
who
in-
on the panel was correct about the Boston Red Sox this year,
I don't
Joe?
want to talk about that right now. Anyway, the woman down in Fall River that was bitten by a coyote.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
said, I bet the coyote's rabid.
Oh, I
And,
bet that right when
right.
Are you kidding
Because
me?
you're out walking
'Cause
your
it-
dog and a coyote comes out of the woodwork.
Oh, God. And then
that's
went
not
to the
right.
golf course after the
That's
fact.
right.
So
Well,
that's
he had a tea
when,
time.
yeah, right. When they said the golf course, I said it's rabid.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah.
There's no,
So after the Fall River
Yeah.
police shot it and killed it because it was acting aggressive, that's another sign.
Yep.
And they took it for state lab for testing, and it came back positive for rabies. She is still in the hospital. She's got bites to both legs and an arm.
Wow.
Never said what happened with the dog. I don't
What
think
do you
I
mean?
don't-
They
The dog
killed the dog.
escaped. The
No,
dog.
no, they
Oh,
killed
her
the
dog.
coyote. Her dog.
Oh, I
Did the
see.
dog
Yeah.
escape?
That's what I heard. The dog was not injured.
Oh, okay, good.
According to what the news report was.
She
But
must
she's
have got in
going to be
between the
going
dog
through a
and the
very,
coyote.
very lengthy and painful treatment, I
Yeah,
understand, for
absolutely.
rabies.
Plus the dog bite, wolf bites have got they got to heal.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So,
true, yeah.
So, all right. So that's what happened. I was glad I was right on this one.
Yeah.
Not glad
Lady,
that she got
lady
bit,
did
but-
nothing wrong.
No, she's out walking
Just-
a dog.
right.
It's just,
Just life happens.
it's that happens down in well, not now because there's a hurricane in Florida, but they out walk their dogs and the alligators come out
Yeah,
and say, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
lunch."
unbelievable.
Just got to be careful. All right, Sue, we've talked about this the last couple of weeks, but here we are. Massachusetts says the Sumner Tunnel will reopen tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, that I'd love to see.
And then they'll take the weekend off.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they'll be open on Tuesday, and then the following weekend, they're going to close the Sumner Tunnel on the weekends for whatever we feel like it.
Yeah.
They haven't put a date on that one. So.
Well, because they're not done with it, Joe.
No,
because
they're not
they've
done
only
with it.
done successfully, and I guess on time, half the job.
Yeah.
The most important, urgent, needed portion of the job has been done, but the whole refurbishment is going to take another similar shutdown for a
Yep.
couple of months.
Next summer.
Next summer,
We're closing it down again.
they're going to do it again, and during that, they say that they will finish by resurfacing the travel surface of the tunnels, and then they won't have to touch it for a long time.
Well, keep your fingers crossed on that.
Yeah.
Right.
700 new ceiling panels were installed. They added a new ventilation system and other numerous safety improvements that they don't go on to explain. So,
Those tunnels, not for nothing, I've been going through those things for
does
years.
it still bother you?
And it's not that it bothers me.
Yeah.
It's work is needed. Constant
Yeah.
work is needed. I mean, you're in a hole, in a tunnel, in the ground.
Under the
and
water.
Under the water, and all of that. And when you think of all that, you want to make sure there are safety measures in place. And it can get so grimy. I mean, the exhaust smoke and all
Yeah.
that stuff, grimy as all get out.
As soon as an accident happens in the tunnel,
Oh, you're done.
that all the exhaust hits the
Yeah,
walls.
exactly.
And, I
You're
guess that's why they had to put the
done.
new ventilation system in.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this stuff out of here.
It's
so.
absolutely terrible.
Have you ever been in the tunnel when there's been an accident?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Are you
I
kidding
have.
me?
I haven't. I thought you might with the
Oh,
limousine
yeah.
business.
I can remember coming out of the tunnel one morning, and we were just talking about cars merging and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I will never forget coming out of that tunnel. I had two choices. I could hit the guy in front of me that stopped dead, or take a chance and go to the right and hope nobody was there.
Wow.
And apparently, I'm going there. We were both very intelligent drivers because he knew where I was up against, and he knew what he needed to do, and I knew what I needed to do. And then we just looked at each other after, I mean, we both knew the guy that had stopped dead was because the car in front of him stopped. dead.
Stopped. Yep.
And there wasn't a big line of traffic either. So you weren't expecting that. I always anticipate if I have to hit my brake, it's 10 cars in front.
Yeah.
I'm watching that far up. So
Yeah.
it was unanticipated, but we both knew.
So when you moved to the right,
I moved to the right.
nobody was there?
We both just right around that accident. And
Wow.
like I said, we just looked at each other after the fact. So that's part of the tunnel. You were coming out of the light. You were
Yeah.
in the tunnel coming out to bright sunlight.
Yep.
And that's what happened in front of me.
The glare.
The glare
Okay.
got the guy in front of us. And that's all you can do. So, yeah, I've been in that many times.
Okay. Well, we'll see how things go now.
Yep.
Now that they're going to reopen, hopefully things are better up there. We did get a note that was called in 766-1240 just about the Boston Red Sox. Tick, 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 boom. That's clever.
Right?
Blow it up, and we'll start again next year. Okay. That's
You have
basically
to
what it comes
understand
down
something.
to.
That's the way things were during most of the 20th century for Boston Red Sox fans.
Well, that's
You
true.
got in the beginning of the 21st century, we started having some tremendous successes,
got
and then
better.
you start getting used to that, and you start expecting it all the time. The fact is that life is not like that. That someone
Well-
else is going to see what you're doing right, and they're going to try it, and they're going to have success with it, and now you're no longer having the same success. And so, keep in mind, in the entire world of Major League Baseball, every team loses but one.
It's the same thing with the
Yep.
Patriots.
I was just exactly going to say the Patriots.
Remember
Same
how bad
thing.
the Patriots were?
Same thing with the Patriots.
They were called the Patriots. They were so bad.
Pitiful, yeah.
Yeah, and so bad that you couldn't watch them on TV. locally.
That's right, 'cause they didn't sell out the
sell
stadium.
out in time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they would
Get to
sell
sell out
out.
by what, noontime Thursday or something back to you? Are those rules still in effect?
Those rules are still in effect,
Oh,
as far as
really?
I know. And I do remember a couple of times Channel 4 up in Boston, which used to carry the games, they'd go out because there'd be like 2,000 tickets left. All right, we're going to buy them so we can broadcast the game and make money from the advertising.
Right.
So they made their money back for it. But those times, in my son, who's going to be 30, has no idea that the Patriots were ever lousy.
Right.
Right.
So when I told him that we could go on, we could decide the games at Sunday at 1. You could decide at 11 in the morning. I think I'll go to the Patriots game today. Drive to Foxborough and buy tickets.
Yes.
Right.
And he's like, that's just unheard of.
Unheard
Right.
of, yeah.
that
Unheard
cannot
of,
be done.
absolutely.
So you're right. So it goes round and round. And once you get the victories, you're right. You expect it. Okay, we've reached this level. How do we stay here
Yeah.
forever and ever and ever and ever and ever?
So our caller who wrote that note in, if I'm correct in who they are, they have a massive sports knowledge. But I'm trying to remember from my foggy sports knowledge. I do believe that the Boston Red Stockings won the first World Series.
They did.
Right. So, I mean, there was greatness, and then it went tepid, and then it festered for a while, and they made several attempts but didn't make it, and then they got fantastic again, winning World Series again. So, it's already gone one full circle, and it's going to start another circle.
It was like 1903, 1905, 1912. I'm not positive on that. 1918, and then the big drought.
Right.
All right. Other things going on, and I find this funny. You think, our city or the whatever town you're living in, our government, we've got the worst. Everything's bad.
Well,
Nothing's.
that's yeah. I mean, everybody sees the blemishes in
Well,
their
right.
own
in their own backyard.
home, yeah.
That's right. But up in Boston, I just found this so amusing.
You
Boston
think we got problems?
That's right. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu left the city for vacation this week, and that's fine. But she didn't inform the city council president that she left. All right? Wu has not been in the city. Michelle Wu has not been in the city since an appearance in Dorchester on Saturday. The normal procedure, and I would say this is the normal procedure in probably every town. It is in Woonsocket, right?
You send a little courtesy note saying, "Okay, I'm going to be out for an extended period of time." You don't every time you go to Providence or something like that, you don't say anything about it. But the fact that if you're going to be going for overnight extended stays, and you won't be working during that time, you look at your number 2 according to the charter of wherever you live, and say, "I'm going to be gone, so heads up." Tag, you're it.
But you have to do that with a job.
That's
Why
right.
wouldn't you have to do that?
The normal procedure is for the city council president to assume the role of acting mayor.
Right.
Yeah.
But the last time she went and left Flynn acting mayor, what happened?
Well-
something she didn't like.
Yeah. But until Tuesday of
He
this
did
week,
something.
Ed Flynn
Maybe she-
had no idea he was in charge. Imagine that. I'm in charge? What do you mean? Well, Wu's out of the state. She is? All right. It's unclear whether Flynn's active time as acting mayor when Wu went on vacation last month is why she failed to inform him this time. But I don't have what he might have done.
Well, it seems pretty clear that
Something
she
she
was
didn't like.
yeah, she was not pleased with his performance the last time. So this time we'll say, well, gee whiz, if he doesn't know he's in charge, maybe he won't do anything.
Now,
Maybe you won't notice I'm gone.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to sneak out. I'm only going to be gone a few days. We'll just come back and then hope nothing happens. Now, some
Wow.
cities, not in Woonsocket, but some cities have deputy mayors.
Well, wait a minute now, Joe. Let's back up 10 steps here.
All right.
Maybe she just plain forgot.
Maybe, but I highly doubt that one.
Okay.
No, but now some cities have.
We can all have our opinions, but
Right,
let's
right.
give the benefit of the doubt.
Always have to give the benefit of the doubt. You do. But.
All right.
But.
Now, some cities have deputy mayors.
Okay.
Correct. Now they would be next in charge, right? Kind of like a
That makes
lieutenant
sense
governor,
to
kind of
me.
like a
Yeah,
vice
sure.
president. Okay. Something they just don't have up in Boston. So it defaults to the city council president, who we won't tell. I left town. Oh well.
What are you going to do?
This is a 26-year-old man from Shrewsbury, Mass. Was out in California. He was running a marathon out there, collapsed and died after while running the marathon. He became unresponsive near mile 23 of the Santa Rosa Marathon. And he leaves behind his mother and 2 sisters. Wow. And he's only 26.
This happens more frequently than you might think.
Yeah,
but at that young of an age?
yes, it happened. Believe it or not.
Because there may be a heart defect or a birth
Yeah.
defect that was undetected until stressed to that limit.
It happened to a friend of my husband's. I would say it was probably 31, 32.
Running a marathon?
He not only running a marathon, it was a triathlon.
Ooh, wow,
And
they're
he had
tougher.
done many triathlons.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well,
it's an
I know
awful thing.
Yeah.
I know it sounds careless, but I've heard people say, and I can't debate it. I can't disagree with it. Said, when your work is done, your work is done.
That's right.
And no matter what day or hour it is, or how old you are, or whatever the circumstances, when your work is done, you're done.
I've seen.
And it's way beyond most of us to
You're right, and I've
get it.
I've seen people.
When your number, it's your number. Your number's up.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen or read stories. People fall out of 7-story buildings and land on the sidewalk, and they're
What?
well, not fine, but they don't die.
Their work wasn't done.
But I've seen people on the ski slope that have come to a stop, just tip over, hit their head wrong, gone.
Sure.
Time's up.
Right.
Yep.
All right, time for a break here on the Coffee and Program. And
That's why I always like to keep a very busy schedule, Joe.
So, Sue, time for a second message from the Call newspaper.
Alrighty. Once again, we're still closed. Office is still under construction, and I'm sure it's frustrating to some customers. I have been meeting people there, so I'll give you my cell phone again. Should you need a back edition, you're missing your newspaper from delivery, any problems, concerns, or questions, by all means, call me, and I will direct you to the proper person. Again, it's Sue McKenzie, 487-4136.
All right there, Sue. Thank you very much. It is time for the forecast being brought to you by Compassion International.
Sunny skies today with a high of 74 degrees and a breeze from the north. Tonight, clear, overnight low of 49 degrees. Friday's weather, sunshine and 73. Saturday, sunshine and 79. Sunday, sunshine and 83. Labor Day Monday, sunshine and 88 degrees. Tuesday, sunshine and 88 again. And next Wednesday, sunshine and 88 again.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we have 65 degrees. Drought, war, and rising food prices have devastated families in poverty. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
Rhode Islanders need a strong and effective leader in Congress, and more importantly, someone they can trust. I'm Stephen Casey. As a 17-year first responder with the Woonsocket Fire Department, I will never forget where I came from or who I work for. In my 10 years in leadership at the State House, I've brought people together from competing interests to find compromise and common ground, which is what this country needs. I'm Stephen Casey. I'm asking for your vote now through September 5th. You've counted on me. Now I hope I can count on you.
Paid for, Casey for Congress.
I'm Stephen Casey, and I approve this message.
At the turn of this century, 27% of people who passed away were cremated. By the year 2020, that figure rose to 56%. The Cremation Association of America projects that by the year 2040, 4 out of 5 Americans will choose cremation over a casket burial. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center of Woonsocket can answer your questions about the cremation process. Go online to providencecremation.com. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center on Spring Street, Woonsocket. Let them create the perfect service for your loved one. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on my morning sports reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
This portion of the Coffee and Program is being sponsored by attorney Bob Lauder. Bob could not be with us this week. We hope Bob can be with us next week. That's right. We what's the name of that dog?
Oh, gee whiz. Oh, I've forgotten.
Oh, God, that's going to be the
The
question.
name of the dog on the bean
Yeah.
thing.
Cindy,
What
do you
is
know?
his
Bush
name?
beans.
It's
No.
no, I can't get it.
Yeah, all right.
All right, here's
Somebody will call it.
But here's a message from Bob Lauder. When you need a skilled attorney who will fight for your rights, look no further than attorney Bob Lauder of Woonsocket. If your legal questions revolve around estates or trusts, then talk to Bob. If you're contemplating a divorce, then talk to Bob. Attorney Bob Lauder has a calming demeanor, which is very helpful in legal matters, and Bob has more than 40 years' experience practicing law. Call Attorney Bob Lauder today at 401-762-4550, 762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice.
It was so
Sue is she's running the ball here.
Yeah.
It's Duke.
Yes.
Duke is the dog
Have
and the
cell
Bush's
phone,
Bean.
will travel.
Bush's Bean commercial. So roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's Duke the dog.
Duke the
on
dog,
The
the-
Bush Bean
If
commercial.
we would have
golden
really,
retriever.
really thought about it, because when
Maybe
you
it would've
think
come to
about
us.
it, he says it during the
That's right.
commercial.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was going
you're
with.
saying the commercial, so it would have come to you.
Eventually.
Yeah.
All right. It's Coffee and I'm Joe Callahan. Dave Richards here. Sue Tessie McKenzie from the calls
And
here.
somebody else
And
nice
we're
is
being
here.
joined by Cindy Johnston, Finance Director for the City of Woonsocket. How are you, Cindy?
I'm good.
Look
Good
at that
morning.
smile.
She's always happy to be here. 'Cause
I am. I always
She's
enjoy
not,
coming on
Because while she's here,
Speaking
she's not
with
getting
you.
complaints.
That's right.
Yeah.
phone
At least
calls,
for those few
interruptions.
minutes,
Phone
yeah.
calls.
Yes.
For those few minutes, she's not getting a.
Who's in charge of taxes? I need to speak to them.
That's right.
I
I
guess
don't-
that's me.
I don't like my bill.
Okay, join the
I'm
club.
sorry to hear that. But Cindy joins us usually about once a month.
People should understand she's not the tax assessor. She
Right.
is the finance director.
Finance director.
So she's not responsible for what you got billed for.
But
Thank
we
She's
you,
gotta-
Dave.
responsible.
We
she's
wanna-
responsible for you for where the money goes when you pay it.
yes.
That's true.
But I need to yell at somebody, and she's the only one around.
Oh dear. And she's got such a smile on her face.
That's why people in restaurants, they yell at the waitress. They didn't cook the food.
Right.
Exactly.
Anyway, are the Woonsocket sewer bills, are they going out? Have they gone out? Where are we with those?
So obviously we are behind. We still are using that software that we had for the past 2 years, still experiencing problems.
Is there new software coming in?
There is. So we did go out for bid. We awarded the bid. They've already had the initial meetings with the new vendor. But to roll out a new software, it takes months. And that's not anticipated to happen for at least 6 months, if not a little bit longer. Whenever you migrate to a new software, especially if it's a different company, it takes far longer than you realize.
Because
It's a
you're
lot
doing
of-
business while you're changing.
Well, not only that,
Right.
it's all the programming.
Yeah.
Because they
Bug
can't
fixes.
make those decisions for us. And every little switch in the software that needs to be determined by the client, which is the city of Woonsocket. And so it's a far more involved process than
And so every
anyone
town and
could
city
know.
is different, and they want what
And
they
they
want.
have different preferences.
Yeah.
So really, what you're purchasing when you purchase a computer software is the shell, and they want the client to get whatever they want. So you're building that really
Mm-hmm.
from just the shell, and it's time consuming.
Would you liken it to getting a new cell phone? It comes to you, oh yeah, that could make a call, but it doesn't have any numbers in it or anything else like that. And you've got to train this like a puppy for the next couple of months, right?
Yes, and that's why I never upgrade my cell phone.
Yeah.
It is
Smart
so
lady.
difficult.
I bet you Sue feels the same way. Hers is pretty hot this
stop
morning.
it. Look at this thing. Look at this thing.
It's
like-
beautiful.
Are you kidding me? The cracks that are in this. They announced an iPhone 15 yesterday.
Yeah.
I go, damn, I got a 7.
I think I'm on a 9.
Oh my!
And it's all cracked.
Well, you
Wow.
drop it every now and then. So
Joe, you're going to be miles ahead. You're going to a
I know.
13.
Jump to a
yeah.
13.
You're getting a
Ooh.
15? Ooh,
No,
that's
a 13.
exciting.
13.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Well, they got them on sale
Right.
now because the
Mhm.
15
That's
is
true.
That's right. You get a good deal on them. So the new sewer bills just haven't gone out yet
Okay,
Back to that.
so
with the old,
that's
with the
true.
old
We,
software.
we got a little distracted.
Yeah.
The commercial bills are done. They are at the printers. They will be mailed today or tomorrow. The residential bills, we have the proofs that went to Webster Bank. And what Webster needs to do is check and make sure those coupon codes are readable. So we expect that to be completed by next week, and obviously the goal is mid to next week we have the residential bills in the mail. The due date for both commercial and residential will be September 29th.
Okay. Hopefully everything works. Keep those fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. Well, now
Well,
that we've
this
gotten
is the
to
old system, so this
Right.
is probably
yeah,
going to
so now
work,
that we
right?
got to the point of the proof, obviously the bill roll is ready, so we don't anticipate any issues.
All right, great. Talk a little bit about tax amnesty.
So the tax amnesty program, we did discuss it last month on the air. It was supposed to start September 1st, but we need that second passage of ordinance from the city council. That second passage was supposed to be August 21st. As everyone knows, the meeting got postponed.
Did they ever figure out what happened to the elevator? Because it was working at 6 o'clock and then it wasn't working just before 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's well, there were two employees that took the elevator from the first floor to the third floor,
Right.
and it jammed on the second floor
Oh.
to the point that it actually, like went up and down, and like they rose off the floor.
Oh, my.
So yeah, it was a scary moment, and they said it took a few full seconds for the elevator just to start going again up to the third floor.
Uh-huh.
So that's when they shut it down.
Well, that makes sense because that's a warning shot, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's ironic that that same day, that was the day that Providence City Hall's
I know.
elevator fell.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking good conspiracy theory coming on here.
Yeah, so people think it was done intentionally. No, it
Right.
was done out of
Who
caution.
would think that?
Yeah, me.
It was. It really.
Just trying to
It
be
really
funny.
did happen. Those
These are
two
mechanical things
employees
just
were
like a
shooken
car.
up.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet.
but
Yeah.
And out of caution, it was immediately shut down.
Shut it down.
First thing Tuesday morning, as soon as I pulled in the parking lot, the elevator company was already
Sure,
there
yeah.
checking it out.
And now
Is
it's
that,
working
is that
okay?
Thyssen
Now
Krupp?
it's working.
Is that
Good.
Thyssen? Do you know the name of the company? Well, they're
I
a
want to say
big company.
TK. I think
TK, yeah.
the van said TK. I think
might
it
have
is
different
Thyssen.
contract,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Thyssen, yeah. It
Yeah,
would be
TK,
Thyssen, yeah.
Thyssen Krupp, yeah.
All right. So now the city council, will they take up the second passage of this at their next
That's
meeting,
right.
whenever they have it?
We got distracted again. So,
This is how we do things on Coffee and we get there, but we,
yeah,
we
we
enjoy
go
the
around
process.
about.
what
That's
happens
fine.
with
Good
live.
That's my usual conversation. I always go around, but I get to the point. So, as you know, there is a special meeting to add a regular meeting to the city council agenda.
That's right. That's, coming up
That's next week. So the regular meeting will be September 11th now.
Right.
And my understanding, I don't control the docket, that's the city clerk's, but everything that was on the original docket will move forward to this docket and probably a few more items.
Well, they did meet on
Right,
the
for
Thursday
the-
at 11:30
for the
to take care of the ones that
licenses.
couldn't wait.
Yeah. Yep.
There
There were a couple of
So
resolutions.
it won't be everything that was
Yeah.
going to originally
Yeah,
be on the
everything that
21st.
didn't get heard at the special meeting
Right.
should be back on the docket. I know there's going to be a few more items, but that does throw a wrench in the tax amnesty because it was supposed to start on September 1st,
Right.
but that second approval won't happen to September 11th.
And is it going to be immediate, or is there going to be the 11-day wait after the second approval?
I actually
you know?
don't know.
That's all right. well,
Obviously,
find
it's
out.
a
It's written in the bill
60-day
somewhere.
period, so it isn't like, all of a sudden, instead of 7 days, you have 2 days to rush and apply for this. It is a 60-day amnesty period. We are going to send out notices to everyone who has past due tangible and motor vehicle taxes still on the books to give them an
would be Sue.
opportunity.
She had her hand up in the air.
That's what the state told me. You owe money. I know I do. Where's my bill?
Oh, we have to start this again?
Moving right along.
No, we've run around in circles enough. Go right ahead.
So those notices are going to go out end of next week, and just to let these people know that there are past due taxes for both tangible and motor vehicle on the books. To participate in the amnesty program, you would have to pay everything that's past due, other than the interest, and then fill out an interest waiver form, which will go to the tax assessor. So if ends up not getting approved for whatever reason, your interest does not get waived, then you would be notified and you'd have to come in and get the interest. But I'm not even sure what criteria that would meet. My understanding is, as long as there's no glitches and, you come in, you pay your past due balance in full, I can't see why you would be denied an interest waiver.
Oh, that's
Very great.
nice.
Yeah. All right. Very good there, Cindy. All right, we got to take a break on the Coffee and program right now. So this segment has been sponsored by Attorney Bob
So
Lauder. So
things will not digress at this point. For the next several minutes, you may rest assured we'll stay on track.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because
Anyway,
it's taped.
so Dave, time for a second message from Attorney Bob Lauder's office, please.
Yes, we expect that Bob will be back in this chair next Wednesday.
Or Thursday.
So how about Thursday? No, next Thursday, and it'll be nice to have Bob back again. 2 weeks off were planned, and of course, if you call the office, you'll be able to get an appointment as well. But Bob is, of course, as I've mentioned on many occasions, I'm proud to say he's a good friend, but he's been my civil attorney since before we got into this radio business as a business. So Bob is a good lawyer. We've never had a bad outcome with Bob. Bob will give us the possibilities, and Dave, you make a decision about how you want to proceed, and whatever is the subject at the time, I'll make a decision, and whether he agrees with it or not, that's the way it is. There's no, he doesn't push you around, say you got to do this, you got to do that. Bob will just give you your options, and you will decide, and that's one of the reasons why we've had such a good, long, strong relationship for so many years. You can trust Bob. He's honest. He doesn't have any agendas or anything. It's just giving you the information you need to make decisions to circumvent all the vagaries of the laws that are on the books. So, of course, if you were, he hastens to mention, of course, that the state of Rhode Island General Assembly does not endorse any specialties claimed by attorneys. They simply say you're an attorney and you can do anything under the law. And we know from advertising that many people do claim specializations. Bob does not. Not only does he not claim a specialization, is not certified in a specialization, he doesn't care to have a specialization. He's just a good general practice lawyer. So if that's the kind of guy you need for an estate, a trust, a will, or a disagreement with a neighbor or something else like that, Bob's the man to see, and he'll take care of everything. First consultation is always free, and the telephone number is 762-4550 for Bob Larder. He is on 267 Blackstone Street in the lovely lavender wooden former church building across from the big brick that is a church building. You park right in the big brick church's parking lot and walk across the street. They have an agreement there. Bob Larder, Blackstone Street, Woonsocket.
Thanks, Dave, and the Coffee and program will continue. Stick around.
Enjoy the best at Chan's Restaurant. Wonton soup, crab rangoon, boneless ribs, teriyaki sesame chicken, general chicken, 5-spice shrimp, lo mein fried rice, 32 special combo dinners, deliciously and reasonably priced at Chan's. Entertainment at Chan's. Friday night, September the 1st, it's Willie J. Law's Band. Saturday the 2nd, Willie Vendor and No Agenda. And on Friday, September the 8th, Robert Black, Sweet Hitchhiker. It's Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket, the place to go for all your Chinese delicacies. You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Hi, this is Noel Pinsence. Myself and Reverend Ryan Simus will present a fabulous show by Father Pat from La Salette Shrine. It will take place on Sunday, September 10th, and that is Grandparents' Day at 3:30. The doors will open at 3 p.m. at St. Joseph Church, Mendon Road in Woonsocket. Father Pat will present inspiring music. This event is sponsored by the Pepin family. Pre-sale tickets on sale now, $10 at Pepin Lumbers on Cumberland Hill Road. The day of the concert, $12. Cash only. No checks or credit cards. The address for Pepin Lumber, 830 Cumberland Hill Road. And we're going to help New Beginning Soup Kitchen and the St. Joseph Cupboard. Hope to see you there.
All right, it's Coffee and here on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Sue Tessie McKenzie, Cindy Johnston from the finance director of the city of Woonsocket. Last time you were here, I believe this came up. Are you still looking for help in your department?
So I conducted interviews last week.
That's a lot of fun, isn't it?
I love interviews.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just interfering with the other stuff you had to get
I
to
know.
do. Oh, now I got to go talk to these people. Jeez.
Get to meet new people.
Well, that's true.
That's nice.
I might have been over ambitious because I had set up interviews for 2 jobs the same afternoon. And I have to say, as the afternoon wore, it was getting tiresome. But I actually do enjoy interviewing people because you get to learn a lot about them. And I would love in my next lifetime to be like a coach in that. You know,
Like a life coach?
Yeah, no, like job preparation.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I've done it for so long now, and I've interviewed so many people and looked at so many resumes.
So you see what people are doing wrong
And right.
and stuff they're
you
doing
know,
correctly. Yeah.
And I've had relatives who have asked me to do mock interviews with them,
Okay.
and I'm happy to say they got the job.
Good. The ones you coach them on, very good.
Again, we're digressing, so let's get back to my vacancies. So I did interview for the controller and the user billing and reporting specialist. And we do have our recommendations, so we'll see where that goes. As far as other openings, I did hear yesterday that one of my employees is getting a promotion within the building. So obviously, you know,
There's gonna
that'll
be a gap.
right. And you know, when people look at that vacancy report every month, they're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You know, are you scaring these people away? They don't want to work for you." And again, I say, at least in my department, I'm a big supporter of promotions. And since I've been the director, I probably promoted 3 or 4 people. But if you look at the vacancy report, it looks like, you know, we can't fill our jobs when really we're promoting people, and because they're union jobs, we have to go through all the procedures of re-advertising. I just can't put another person there. And doing that process usually takes about 3 months from start to finish, from the minute that you fill that request to fill form, which again, you know, we have forms and we have rules and we have procedures, and that is one of them. The director fills the form, we get signatures, then we can advertise. I think we have to do it for 2 weeks. If it's a union job, then we have to schedule a testing. Then after the testing, there's a 2-week review period to look at the test. Then the director has to assign education experience points. And then finally, personnel can put together a list to be certified by the personnel board. So now you've got to get the personnel board to meet to certify this list. Once you get a certified list, then the director can finally do interviews. And as you know, most people are coming from another job, so even if you appoint someone, you got to wait 2 weeks before them to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long process, and like I said, minimum 3 months to fill it.
I'm thinking, once you've decided on someone and they start, someone else has now been promoted, and you got to start the whole process
Right,
again.
and that's why you look at that monthly vacancy report. It looks like there's something going wrong. There's we don't have a good working environment in the building, and that's not the case. We're promoting.
Okay. The question I have for you, and without naming names, because you work in the finance department, so you're dealing with money, the important stuff. When you do some of your interviews, are you looking at the people saying, I can't believe this is how they dress to come to this kind of job interview? They're not coming into, nothing against McDonald's or Burger King, but, this is important stuff, and you should dress appropriately for your interview. Are you seeing people, some people not doing that?
So lately, I haven't had a problem. But right after COVID ended and we opened up the doors again, I think they got too used to being home.
At home?
And yeah, I did have a few that
Very cash walking around?
I was like shocked.
Yeah. With what they wore.
Coming in with yoga pants
Yeah.
and flip flops and, a t-shirt.
What was it, at least flip-flops with socks?
No.
Oh, God, no, that's...
No socks?
Oh, good
Well,
thought.
see, now, if it's a formal interview, you got to have socks on your flip-flops, yeah.
But no, lately the people were getting a much better quality.
Okay.
And I probably have noticed that in the past 6 months. But prior to that, right after COVID ended, there was some questionable.
Would you still conduct the interview, or would you just stop it right there and say, I don't think so, and thanks for coming in?
No, I would never do that.
No?
Well, that's
Okay.
not really fair, is it? Yeah.
No,
Well,
I
you-
would still do the interview.
And you're inviting some sort of a question on what,
Well,
on how you would, yeah, right.
that kind of goes two
can't do
ways.
that.
You're
Mhm.
correct. You do the interview, but you also have to address the way they are dressed, because then they
In
would
the interview?
think that it's
Okay.
okay to do that.
Oh, to do what
moving
you're doing?
Right.
You
So
keep
you
'em-
have to. They need to know this is not okay. I'm going to interview you. You're here. We're going to do the interview because
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge you on the way you're dressed. You don't judge a person based on how they're dressed, but you do need to, express that this is not how we come to work every day. Type of
Well, I only do that when I'm asked, and
Yeah.
I do have some interviewees who will ask me, based on their resume and how the interview went, can you give me any feedback? And I will have people ask me that at the end of the interview, and I always, tell them. But one of the reasons I interview everyone that's been scheduled is I kind of have a pulse, being the finance director and being one of the signatories on the request to fill paperwork, know where other vacancies are.
Mm-hmm.
And so you never know if that person
Right.
might be a good fit somewhere
Elsewhere.
else.
Yeah, and it's got not about how they're dressed. It's about what they how they present with what the job is.
You have to keep in mind some people financially struggle a lot, and what they come in with might be the best they have right now.
Right.
So I
And
don't
they're trying to
judge that
improve
way.
themselves by applying for work.
Exactly.
Right.
No, you
I
have
mean,
to-
how can you get a better wardrobe when you don't have a paycheck, and
But
that's why
I
they're
get
here.
the question, though. I get the question because it's happened at the call where we've had people walk in wearing flip flops and shorts and T-shirts. That's not what we're interviewing. We're
Yeah.
interviewing the individual. However, the individual does need to know that's not how you come to work, because you have to go and present us publicly as an on-the-road sales rep. So that's why I ask you at some point, do you say something? It's not just about that may be all they have, but
So I
it
don't
has
say
to
anything
be-
at the interview. If
Yeah.
they end up being our recommendation,
then
then I will tell them what's expected
Yeah.
as far as
and that's exactly
what they're going to
where
wear.
I was going.
That's
Yeah,
the appropriate
yeah.
time to
the
do it.
initial question. That's exactly where I was going. You have to.
All right, we're coming towards the end of the program. It's too bad Bob Lauder is not here, because I would like his
Too
take
bad.
on this, because he's the lawyer.
I still have my Bob Larder hat.
I know,
on.
but
You
you're
wanna
not.
Field it off for me?
But you're not. I will, in the three of you, but I don't know if we'll get the right answer. A California mall is planning to have kids and teens wear ID tags featuring their names and contact information for their parents. And I want to know what the legal ramifications is for doing this. It comes after a mess at the Moreno Valley Mall last weekend. I don't know if you probably might have seen the footage. Surveillance footage from Sunday shows 3 fights breaking out among teens. Hundreds of people were at the mall for National Cinema Day, taking advantage of $4 movie tickets. The shopping center was temporarily shut down until police could get control of the situation. Something similar happened at the Del Amo Mall in Torrance, California. Hundreds of teens brawled on Sunday night. Kids who go to the mall, this Moreno Valley Mall, with a parent, will not have to wear an ID tag. So it's just, can they do that? Is it legal for this mall to do this for the kids? You have to wear an ID tag that identifies yourself.
Ladies
like a
first,
lanyard.
any opinions?
Oh, well, my opinion is, first of all, you'd never display your child's name anywhere. That's one of the first things
That's a
they
good
talk
point.
about in
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah.
But if they did it and it was a tag, you know, like a lanyard, what is that what they call those
Yeah.
lanyards? And it was tucked into your clothing, should something happen, now they know where to reach you, because children typically don't have a license, an ID, or whatever. And, you know, you're looking through somebody's cell phone trying to find mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where something should be.
All
It
right.
would need to be hidden. If you're going to do it, it needs to be hidden.
All right.
This has nothing to do with your work, but if you care to, just
So,
make sure everybody understands. This
Right.
has nothing to do with the city of Woonsocket. Just
obviously, it'd be very difficult to enforce. But if the mall security were to enforce it, you got to look on the other side. It's going to affect those businesses in the mall. They're going to lose customers. So it's a no-win situation if you do that. You're going to have the parents who don't want to do it, the teenagers who don't want to do it, and then your tenants in that mall will not want to see that happen because they'll lose their client base and their business.
All right. Dave?
Well, I'll play the lawyer for just 1 minute here. It's pretty simple. The mall management is being required to respond to a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come up with an idea, and they're going to try to respond with that situation. That's the way it should be. This will never fly.
Right.
Okay.
And they'll respond with another situation.
situation.
And it's all part of life's rich bounty of baloney.
Okay.
Seriously, it's just what happens with people. And you open a place to the public, you get public.
That's right. All right, we got to run. We're over time, but thank you very much for listening in. Dave Richards, thanks for stopping in today.
Great being here.
Thanks for stopping in, Dave.
Well, he was in the building, you know.
Great being here with these two lovely ladies, and you too,
Oh,
Joe.
thank you. And Sue Tesser McKenzie, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great week.
All right, and Cindy Johnson, thanks for coming in with the information about the finance department.
Thank you for having me. I always enjoy coming.
Excellent. This is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a wonderful day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember is coming your way at 9:30.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
ABC 6 TV News reported a man accused of setting fire Tuesday night in Providence is charged with arson. They haven't told us his name yet, but apartments above a liquor store on Douglas Avenue, Route 7, were destroyed, displacing 4 residents. In fact, authorities say that 2 elderly people living in the apartments above suffered serious injuries when they were forced to jump from windows